From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, April the 12th, 2021. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin is in Israel for a two-day visit, the first visit to the country by a Biden administration cabinet member. Austin arrived yesterday and wrote, "I'm looking forward to a series of robust discussions with our Israeli friends on regional security issues. I'm grateful to call Israel a major strategic partner." Well, those discussions included with Israel's Minister of Defense, Benny Gantz, yesterday on such issues, including the threat from Iran. Austin tweeted after the meeting his thanks to Gantz, he wrote, for the important discussions on the regional threat environment and ways to deepen U.S.-Israel defense cooperation. I'm committed to continuing our close consultations on threats posed by Iran and to strengthening Israel's security. Today, Austin met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the same concerns, as well as on the importance of the U.S.-Israel alliance. Netanyahu, in his remarks to a joint press conference, reaffirmed that Israel will continue to defend itself against Iran's aggression and terrorism. And in welcoming Austin, he used the word mishpacha or mishpacha, Hebrew for family, to describe the close U.S.-Israel bond.
I can say with great confidence that Israel has no greater ally and certainly no greater mishpacha than the United States of America, and I can say equally that the United States has no greater ally and no better mishpacha than the State of Israel. So welcome to Jerusalem.
Austin spoke of the importance of meeting on security issues, which he said were important to the U.S. and to Israel, and reaffirmed, he said, the Biden administration's commitment to Israel and to the Israeli people.
And that's why I thought it was important that we meet face to face and to express our earnest desire for close consultations with Israel as we address shared challenges in the region. And I also wanted to underscore my personal pledge to strengthening Israel's security and ensuring Israel's qualitative military edge. The close and strong ties that we enjoy with Israel are central to regional stability and security in the Middle East, and we both agree that we must continue to work closely together to enhance the U.S.-Israel strategic partnership.
Earlier today, there was an explosion at a nuclear site in Iran, which the Islamic Republic blamed on Israel. A blast at the Natanz nuclear facility caused a power outage there. Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif vowed revenge. Israel has not made any comment on the incident. Yamina Party leader Naftali Bennett met again today with Prime Minister Netanyahu. Bennett earlier told his party's weekly faction meeting at the Knesset this morning that he supports the formation of a right-wing government with Netanyahu's Likud party. He said, "I told Netanyahu, and I will say it here too, Likud can count on the votes of the Yamina Party in favor of forming a right-wing government." Bennett also said that his ultimate goal was to prevent a fifth round of elections. The Times of Israel reported that this could leave the door open to potentially supporting Netanyahu's rivals if the prime minister is not able to form a coalition. Anti-Semitic graffiti was found at a playground at Setauket Elementary School in Suffolk County, Long Island, last week. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo instructed the New York State Police Hate Crimes Task Force to help in the investigation, calling the hateful vandalism diametrically opposed to the values of tolerance and understanding that are pillars of the society we've built in New York State. And in France, anti-Semitic graffiti was found this morning on the facade of the Sciences Po, the Institute of Political Studies in Paris. The American Jewish Committee tweeted, "We are horrified to learn that one of France's most prestigious colleges was defaced with anti-Semitic graffiti. The vandalism included the words "Death to Israel." AJC's Paris office tweeted, "We strongly condemn these cowardly and hate speeches, which shed light on anti-Semitism and its definition, which includes hatred of Israel." The school condemned what it called a heinous and cowardly act, saying Ciampo will continue its fight more than ever against all forms of discrimination and attacks on human dignity. And France's Minister of Higher Education, Frédéric Vidal, tweeted, "Hatred has no place in our republic. Everything will be done to identify and prosecute those responsible." Well, Yom Ha'atzmaut, Israel's Independence Day, marking the 73rd anniversary of the establishment of the modern state of Israel, begins this Wednesday evening. And just ahead of that celebration, Israel's Central Bureau of Statistics shared its numbers regarding the country's current population, which stands today at 9,327,000. Nearly 6.9 million Jews, 1.96 million Arabs, and 467,000 people belonging to other groups. When the Jewish state was established in 1948, Israel's population numbered 806,000. Yom Hazikaron, Israel's memorial day to its fallen soldiers and victims of terror, which precedes Yom Ha'atzmaut, begins tomorrow, Tuesday evening, with the sounding of a siren across the country. And here on JBS, we will sound a siren live with the siren in Israel at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 8 p.m. Israel time. We will replay that tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern as well, all part of our special programming for Yom Hazikaron and later this week for Yom Ha'atzmaut. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, April the 12th. At 7 o'clock, it's The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth. At 7:30, a program from the International March of the Living and partner organizations, which explores how lessons of the Holocaust have informed the choices made by healthcare professionals during the coronavirus pandemic. At 8 o'clock, Robert Siegel moderates a discussion on the threat of white supremacy with Lawrence Rosenthal, Kathleen Bellew, and Jonathan Greenblatt. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with the widow of legendary baseball player Jackie Robinson, Rachel Robinson, on L'chaim. At 10:30, we hear from the late Prime Minister and President of Israel, Shimon Peres, who shares his personal reflections and addresses concerns for Israel and the Jewish people. And coming up next, Shachar Azani speaks with Kobe Cohen on the current stage of establishing a new government in Israel. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, April the 12th, 2021. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy. Stay well.